My name is Marcel, and I am with the Department of Business and Industry. I don't know how much you know about that, but business and industry for the state is, think about a regulatory umbrella. Is that making sense? So to give you an idea, if you and I sell real estate, we need to be licensed and regulated. Same thing for insurance. If you and I have a labor dispute, we go to the labor commissioner. If you and I contemplate getting into a cage to fight here in Las Vegas, we need to go to athletic commission and get licensed and regulated by them in order to get into a cage, as an example, okay, and fight. So a lot of just regulatory umbrella in many industries, including taxis, transportation, meeting all the limousines that you see around, tow trucks. What else? We also have the Division of Industrial Relations, anything related to OSHA, safety components in the workplace. But my purpose of being here is, my game is this whole area of entrepreneurial ecosystems. And I am hoping that the conversation today is just to point to resources so you know where to go to basically put together a plan after the business idea. Because there are thousands of individuals out there thinking about a business. But in order to get to the next level, if you want to call it, you need to have sort of what I call an action plan. Very often they call it a business plan, but to me, a business plan, if we are not careful, is too academic. And a business plan should not be an academic exercise. It should be an action plan. So I'm hoping that I can point to you to resources that can help you for free get into this space of an action plan. And then from there, jump into the next level, which is the most challenging portion for any business, which is a strategy to make money. So let me repeat again. We have the tendency to call it a strategic plan, but we really need to divide it in two. The planning for the business, but then the strategy to make money. Is that making sense? Because what they say is that to some degree, even though challenging, right? Planning is sort of under control. We need to get an office, for example. Get computers, desk, hire people. Still challenging, right? And it may require taking a risk, getting a loan, funding. But after the planning, then is this whole exercise of the strategy. And that sort of goes into the question, as Shark Tank will pose it, is where is the next dollar going to come from? Right? And that is out of our control. But that's why we need to have, for example, a marketing plan, understanding markets, who the next client is going to be. So what you have in front of you is called the roadmap. How many of you are familiar with this tool here? It's a PDF file, and on the back of it, you have the information how to access it. You see, coming up. As we go through this, I want you to ask questions. I don't want this to turn into just a presentation, but I want this to evolve organically. If you have questions, if you see something that you want to know regarding this roadmap, I will be more than glad to point to it. And the roadmap is basically resources. Keep that in mind. Resources, information, and tools for you to be able to execute or frame your business idea. So question, you look at the roadmap. What's the first button that you see there?
Getting out.
Okay. So where do you go for help? Okay. Are you already a client of the what they call Nevada SBDC, a Small Business Development Center? How many of you are familiar with any of Nevada SBDC or SCORE or the Nevada Women's Business Center? Or by that definition, there is also brand new to Nevada, the Veterans Business Outreach Center.
What was the first one you
Nevada,
said? Small SBDC.
and I can point to it.
That's what? BDC. SBDC. Yeah. Development.
So now the beauty of these places is they provide technical assistance for free.
Now, Marcel, is control there's also not like a tax accelerator.
We're going to get to it. And that's the thing that we sometimes know SCORE, Apex Accelerator.
Right.
And because of my own experience, you know it. But what happens is the rest of the group says, what the heck is Apex Accelerator? What is it that they do? That's why this roadmap was created, because you and I can identify to getting help. We can identify with funding. Isn't that the truth? We may need $25,000 or $100,000 or $1 million. But who has that money? And what Apex Accelerator is, in what category they live for? Where do you think they are? They're on the roadmap. You have any idea? No? So coming up. All righty. So as you can see, you ask, who was it to us? What is Nevada SBDC?
No, I wouldn't ask.
Oh.
The name.
Oh, the name of it, Small Business Development Centers. It happens to be all over the nation and territories of the United States. Every state will have a Small Business Development Center. Every state will have SCORE, Women's Business Centers, and what we call VBOC that you see over there, the Veterans Business Outreach Center. Why? They fall under the category of the Small Business Administration. So think about a table with 4 legs. And those are the 4 legs under the Small Business Administration, funded by them. Does that make sense? Because it gets confusing. Who does what? Right? So please keep that in mind. So how many of you have accessed any of these organizations? Which one?
SCORE.
SCORE. So are you presently working with the SCORE volunteer or?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Sir?
SBDC.
SBDC?
Both the SBDC.
Right. I highly recommend that you do. But do it in a way. I stand in front of you as a small business owner since 1996 in the area of workforce development. We have gone through the Great Recession, 2008, 2009. We have gone through the pandemic. Our business model has changed, but we still are in business. My point here is that I have always gone for technical assistance to these organizations because I did a self-assessment and concluded I know exactly what I want. I know where I am going. But if I don't hold hands with someone, I will not be able to execute what I need to do. Is that making sense? And entrepreneurs or at the business idea for some reason, sometimes we have barriers, limitations that we think that our product or service is the only thing that we are thinking about. I can guarantee you that thousands of people are thinking about the same thing. Differently, perhaps, but they are thinking about it. But from that business idea, the next level is to put that action plan together, and it starts with that button that says getting help, technical assistance, with the understanding that sometimes the chemistry is not there. For whatever reason, that it doesn't work. It's not for you to drop the technical assistance, but just get someone else in order to realize your business idea. So how about this area, planning? How many of you are familiar with something called the business model canvas? And what is it, sir?
It's a framework, so you can organize steps, ideas, scopes, analysis of scopes.
It's online or?
It's a generic thing, so it's like a.
I'll get there.
What's it called?
This is right here. It's called the business model canvas. I don't know if you can see it. To his point, it's a template, one page, okay? Stay with me. A template, one page, 9 different boxes. How you want to use it is to frame your business idea in writing, not all the details of an action plan, but just be able to visualize what you have in mind, because the hardest thing is that you have it here, and you don't have it in writing. How many of you have your business idea in writing by now? Okay, perfect.
Marcel, we will be covering the business model canvas in one of these sessions. Not next week, I think it's the week after.
Fantastic, that's music to my ears. That is fantastic. And my intention is not to cover it tonight, but just to point to it and for you to realize the beauty of it. And there are hundreds of examples online. If you go to YouTube, put there Southwest, Nespresso coffee. How many of you are familiar with Nespresso?
Me.
And real quickly, and again, I'm not going to get into the details, but I want you to just see it there. Oh, I don't think we want to do that. The beauty of the roadmap is that it's all full of links. Right there, you have it. And it starts with a value proposition in my mind. And you can use stickers to do it. Again, I'm just giving you a preview, and you're going to cover more of this extensively. But it starts with the value proposition. So for example, Southwest Airlines. What do you think is the value proposition to all of us?
Which business? I'm sorry. Southwest.
Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, from here to there. Customer service.
All of the above. But the biggest thing is what?
Don't.
Price,
Say it again.
price.
Cheap fare from point A to B. Fair enough? Value proposition of Nespresso. A machine that makes wonderful coffee, right? So you and I have to buy the machine once, and then what is the recurring sales? Brilliant, right? Yeah. All righty. So you can click on the roadmap and also identify tools. So that first row, again, let me make clear, These are not necessarily steps for an action plan. Because if you and I need $25,000, it's not a step for us. It goes directly into what? Funding, right? So Maggie, if you can click the funding category, please. And these are some of the resources. Micro lenders. Are any of you familiar with these micro lenders in that category? These are individual organizations, not individuals. These are organizations that can lend you from $1,000 all the way to $1 million, $2 million, $25 million. But micro lenders are typically $1,000 to $150,000. You have to be eligible, of course, and that will be up to each of you as you interact with them. But again, if you click on any of them, and Maggie, I wonder if you can click on Dream Spring, for example.
Well, I picked on the MBDA Business Center.
Oh, okay. She picked another one. Thank you. You access their website directly, and you can make an appointment and sit down.
Wow.
You can work with them. All the information is there. Okay, Maggie, if you can just go back again. Tomorrow evening, I think many of you are going to be here again, right? You are going, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but you're going to go through this category of business licensing, business structure, and so forth. So there is a wealth of information simply about, should it be a C corporation, S corporation? What's the difference? What type of licensing do I need? What I will point out, however, Maggie, if you can point on the business licensing button, please, is that in addition to Silver Flume, are you familiar with Silver Flume? Yeah. That is Secretary of State. That's how you get a state business license. And we do need a state business license to do business in Nevada. But in addition to that, we may need other licenses. And what you see on your right is a map of Nevada, which is also interactive. You can click, for example, on, if you can click on Clark County, please, Maggie. It will take you to all the different jurisdictions there for you to understand what source of information is needed. Very well. Apex Accelerator, they said. Apex Accelerator is under the category of certifications and contracts. Maggie, if you click on that, please.
I don't see that one. I see other licenses and permits.
Here
it is. Sorry. Route 50.
Highway 50.
Okay.
Highway 50.
Lonely Road.
Yeah, exactly, the Lonely Road. Getting certified, but go into, go back to the menu, please. And go up, no. Just
Go back to the roadmap?
Yeah. And
Okay.
it says there, on the bottom, it says back to the guide menu.
Oh, okay.
There we go. There we go. So click on certifications and contracts again. For those of you who are in business, are you certified? What's the importance of being certified?
I'm certified as a disadvantaged employer, so I get certain rates from banks or things like that.
And not only that, you can present proposals to local government, state government, federal government agencies. That's what it means, certification. Is that making sense? There are billions of dollars available. It's not for everyone, but billions of dollars at the city level. Think about city of Las Vegas, city of Henderson, city of North Las Vegas. Think about county. From installation of lighting to supplies, copiers. Who gets those contracts? We could participate because by now there are categories that they have to meet quotas. If you are a disadvantaged business, for example. State, think about the school district. The thousands of dollars that are there for expenditure, from paper to toners. So the opportunities are there, but it's not for everyone. Is that clear? Now, Maggie, do me a favor. Click under finding contracts. And there is where you find Apex Accelerator. That used to be known as PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. Why do you want to work with them? To access those contracts.
So
Yeah.
Marcel, don't you also have to become a vendor with the state?
You could. So if what Maggie is saying, that if you type in Nevada State Purchasing Division, for example, Nevada State Purchasing Division, it will take you to a page, and there is something called the ePro
Right there.
or e-commerce, right there. Click on that one, please. Thank you for asking, Maggie.
So you have to do a registration, but it's not difficult.
Why do you want to do a registration? So you're just an approved vendor. The opportunity comes your way, you are ready as an approved vendor for the state. Because if you're not ready, then you still have to go, and this is for free. So a wealth of resources. Thank you for pointing that out.
What's the minimum order size? They will send that out.
Which one?
And what's the minimum order size? Like, is there a dollar amount they don't have to get?
I have no idea. All I know is that in addition to what I mentioned, including the Nevada Department of Transportation or the airport, they have a percentage that they need to allocate to minority and small businesses. And there is where the opportunity comes. With the understanding that it's not for everyone. Is that making sense? It depends on your product or service. And it requires certifications and then access. A certification doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a contract. But that's why you work with many different organizations, including Apex Accelerator, for them to be able to connect you to the right individuals, decision makers that can help you. So again, full circle. What I am presenting to you is all of this for you to frame your business idea, but you need to have it in writing through what I call an action plan, not a business plan that is academic. Let me repeat that again. I have seen business plans with 100, 150 pages, beautifully done, with graphs and all that. And then you test the owner or entrepreneur, and he or she has no clue of what is in there because someone else did it. An action plan for me, it starts with remember the template of the business model canvas? 9 boxes, 1 page to frame your business idea. From there, you can jump into an action plan of maybe 12, 15, 18 pages. But it's a roadmap for you to be able to articulate and get to the bottom of what needs to be done. I work for the street and I make a lot of people uncomfortable because they present to me a lot of information and a business plan. And I always say, I have 2 questions. Who is going to do it and when? And sometimes business plans are beautiful, doesn't identify who is going to do it and when. Because if you leave it open-ended, guess what happens? You turn around and a year went by. Right? We're busy. I never question intent, and you should never question intent, but I question how effective we are. And we need to embrace technical tools or practical tools that can allow us to move forward this business idea. So from a business idea, really embrace this. Connect with the technical assistance. Go through some of this. If you go through this, it will take you about 30 minutes to get your feet wet into this business support ecosystem. Think of it as a business support ecosystem. And then from there, as when you put all of this together, then you start thinking a strategy to make money. And that is scary. Common mistakes, if you click over here, Maggie, maybe there are some things that you can read, including self-care. Because being in business is a risk-taking proposition. It's an exciting thing, but you're taking a risk. And your stress level, how many of us really incorporated stress management under a business plan? Right? And it's probably one of the things that we really need to pay attention to. By developing perhaps a group of advisors, people who can give us information regarding funding. Now, full circle. This is all free. This thing here has over 400 links to organizations that can help you for free. But you need to be willing to hold hands, and that is not easy. It doesn't take anything away from the direction, what you want to do. But it gives you the support system, the guidance, someone that can give you a reality check, someone who can do a cost-benefit analysis to minimize your expenses. I have come across people who come to me and say, I have a great location. I got a great price. And my question is, did you check if the business that you are thinking about is in the right zoning? Think about it.
I was on the phone with planning and zoning for over an hour today.
Because sometimes it's easy. My goodness, we got a great deal. But a great deal doesn't matter, especially if we have a product to sell. Did we do what we call the 1-3-5 radius analysis of the demographics of the area? How many of us really do that? But in this ecosystem or business support ecosystem, you have organizations that can do that if applicable to your product. All you have to do is drop the location and it will tell you 1 mile, 3 miles, 5 miles radius of the demographics to see if it makes sense to sell your product there. Or maybe it doesn't matter, that type of marketing analysis. But there are tools in place for free. And then the technical expertise to sit down with you and analyze, interpret the information. Because as you know, we are surrounded by statistics, data, but we don't even know sometimes what it means. And that's the real question. What does it mean, this particular data for my business, for my product, or for my service? Of course, online service is different, perhaps, from that 135 miles radius. So how many of you are in the business idea of a product in this room? Is it a product or a service?
Service.
Service?
Marketplace.
Okay.
Marketplace.
Product for you? Okay. Well, product is something tangible, right?
Yeah.
I need to open a space or I do it online and I exchange. I pay you money and you give me something. A service we call, I need you to do my website, right? It is still something a product at the end, but it's not a physical product, if it makes sense. Dancing is a service, right? Food is the product. Well, it could be a combination of both also. Yeah, good point. Could be a combination of both. I think I am. You have
So
the
online-
information there. Yeah, go ahead, Maggie.
Online, Marcel, we have David Navarro saying that he has a product and is opening a day spa. So that's a
Oh,
combination of product and services.
outstanding. Best wishes. Please embrace this idea of your business support ecosystem. Hold hands. Allow the technical expertise to just help you. Doesn't take away what you want to do and the direction and exactly what you want to do with your business. But it gives you a set of technical expertise for free that will allow you to move into an action plan, and then after that, an executable plan to make a profit. I wish you the best. If you need help, let us know. We'll do a pre-assessment and connect you with the right resources. Thank you so much.
Are you okay if we share your information on our Slack channel with our?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you again.
I
Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Maggie.
He's an incredible resource.
Marcel.
We'll share his information on Slack. Know that he's been doing this for a long time, so he is the guy to go to when it comes to anything like this. And thank you. We're always so happy to have you.
Thank you. Best success.
And tomorrow we'll be having a mentor who is an expert in navigating the roadmap there. So he will be here to help as well.
Okay, please tell me you can see. Maggie, can you see my screen?
Yes, now we see Incubate Vegas and the check-in QR code. Okay, good.
Okay, yay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so we are going to jump right into the next part. So on for this, and everybody online, as we do these, please feel free to drop your comments in. And for some of the question and discussion parts, I'll open it up and rotate it to in-room and online. And I'll let you guys know when we're doing what so that we can all make sure that we're engaged and participating. Okay, so from idea to business concept, what assumptions have you made so far? For everybody here, does everybody have a notepad and a pen? Okay. We're asking you to write out a list of assumptions that you've made about your business and ideas. This is actually really helpful for you guys as an entrepreneur, this activity. It actually forces you to really consider the impact of your assumption and whether or not you have considered all that needs to be considered. And then we'll talk about it, because what's going to happen is you may have some things on your notebook for the ideas and assumptions that you've made, whereas somebody else has something that you may not have thought of. So let's take a few minutes to do that. Everybody online, same thing, please write a few down. We'll get some people to share what they have in person and online. Okay, anybody online, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you want to share with us, I know that there's some in chat that are coming through. I guess maybe what we should do is clarify the assumption. Maggie, do you want to take on this part? For me, the assumption I think would be actually really anything, the assumption of, you know, what the cost will look like, what your success will look like. I think this is a very broad question, right?
It's good to write down what your assumptions are so that you can check them, right? So you can check them through customer discovery and research. So you're assuming when you start because you don't know, but then you have a roadmap to figure things out. What assumptions can you validate, and what do you still need to go ask people about? Whether it's your customers, or in the case of costs, you would have to do research on what the various costs that make up your product are going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
Norbert who also has several assumptions online.
Okay, go ahead, Norbert, while we wait for our.
The answer is question.
David did. He said so. His assumption were like marketing costs and everything. He made an assumption, but David, how did you put that?
I had basically just said that I had assumed initially like that it was going to cost me thousands of dollars a month if I wanted to do online marketing or employ like meta ads or hire a company to do my marketing. And then when I learned about like geofencing and stuff, the reality was it was pennies a day. So I think I overshot and kind of scared myself going into it. And then once I realized that there were resources for me and I could make it scalable, it was like my aha moment.
Excellent.
Thank you,
I got
David.
one for you.
Okay.
I was
We're
typing so fast. I'm not trying to say.
Yeah. So, hey, this is Lawrence again. Got one for you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. So, my assumption was the time required in order to grow my business. I have another couple of things that I do. One is a music production company, which I've been running for quite some time. And the one thing that I assumed is that I would have enough time to grow a second business. And in reality, I literally have to carve out a sufficient amount of time daily in order to make this effective and productive. So time was one big assumption that I didn't estimate that I would need more of in order to grow this business successfully.
So you undershot on your time assumption.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
You know, and then often cases, you know, people would start a business or start something on the side, you know, like a side business or a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And the assumption is that the side hustle will eventually take over and be a main hustle, but you have to put a sufficient amount of time into that side business in order to make it the main hustle, and you can't treat it as a side business, so to speak, if that's what your goal is, you know?
Hey Lawrence, did you have to, what was the assumption of people that are allergic to milk? Or cheesecake?
Say that one more time.
What was the assumption of the people that were allergic to milk or cheesecake? Oh, you make cheesecake?
Oh, I have a cheesecake catering company. No worries, I will bring a sample for everyone.
I got you guys free
Yeah,
cheesecake.
so the assumption was that I wouldn't have to worry about that crowd because I kind of wanted to do a brand where it would be welcome to all, but being that there are some people that are allergic to the nuts, and there are some people who want to go the vegan route. For right now, I figured that it might be a little bit too much overhead for me to be able to cater to everyone, and just to stick to what I already knew until I get to the point where I can financially say, well, okay, I can make vegan cheesecakes or make allergen-free cheesecakes and that sort of thing. But for right now, I just need to get it off the ground and grow it to the point that I can actually start to welcome those other options. I had this in New York and I dissolved it to move out here. And I just recently decided to start it back up again. But, you know, there are challenges such as resources, financial resources that don't allow me to grow it as fast as I would like to. And I think everybody in that same boat.
It does take a lot of resources, both in time and in money. And you're right. You are right to focus on building the business itself so that you build your reputation. And then when you can,
Right.
you expand to other flavors, other offerings, and satisfying a larger population.
Exactly.
Lawrence, I have
At
no
least that's what my thought was.
So that's a great example because you don't, right? Like when you start to get good at something and you put a product out there, all of a sudden you realize it's not that simple. There's got to be different variations to cater to other parts of the market. And I think a lot of people come across that. You know, when they initially start, they're like, oh, wait, I can't just do this. I really need to think about the big picture and how I can accommodate,
Right.
you know, my other customers. We're gonna flip to people in the room. We have two people, I think, that want to come on up. Did you have a comment or did you have?
Oh, certainly,
Yeah, anyways, my name is John Niedenhoff, and I'm the founder of Deeds Enterprises LLC. We are a service-disabled veteran-owned small business here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So this is how I kind of interpreted the assumptions piece of it. Y'all can steer me. If I'm off base, y'all let me know. So basically, they kind of all four kind of flowing together. Businesses and other organizations need cybersecurity support services in order to fight against cybercrime. That's number one. I think we've seen that. It's, you know.
With MGM?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think we're quite familiar with some very public examples of that here recently in Las Vegas. Number two, there's currently a shortage of cyber talent across the United States in general and Nevada in particular. Number three is organizations may seek to outsource for cyber as opposed to direct hires, whether it be to save money or there's you know, whatever budgetary constraints. And organizations in government may seek to source some of that labor through service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses in order to meet some of their supplier diversity requirements. Those are my four assumptions. I'm not sure if that necessarily dovetails with what you were looking for, but that's what I have.
Actually, I'm going to tell you right now that you're correct in your assumptions. So I used to work for the government. I will tell you that they do outsource things like Okta.
Yep.
And I forgot what the other one was.
Check.
But they do, and it's because there's a limited amount of cybersecurity talent out there.
Right.
And what the interesting part is, because education can't keep up with the rate of technology,
Right.
you need to have an organization that continues to stay on top of it, knows how to train their people, and
Exactly.
so yeah, actually, you are right in that assumption.
Excellent.
But we have another. Oh wait, I think we have a question back there for you.
Yep.
So,
Far away.
with the advent, really in-depth use of remote work, do they actually need to be in the state of Nevada to do cybersecurity?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can source them from anywhere. I know that a lot of people still like having folks on-prem, or at least in the area where you can reach out and touch somebody. I suspect that both MGM and Caesars, I mean, this is again, my assumption, that they want to have like a combination of people that they could, remotely access some of your world's premier experts, but they also want to have folks on-prem to help, actually dive in there and everything, which is an assumption on my part. It's not
Well,
my industry or things. Yeah.
Not far off. So what the interesting thing is companies like Okta and CrowdStrike, I think is
Yes,
the next one.
CrowdStrike's
And
great.
they outsource to India and Latin America and things, but they actually work for the company itself.
Right.
So they do have to follow their rules when
Right.
it comes to security and background checks and everything.
Check.
So it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm in IT, so I can tell you right now
Right.
that you're spot on about that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I can't give anybody else advice like that, except for cheesecake. I'll taste test, Lawrence. Is there anybody else in the room that wants to come up and share? One more person, maybe?
I'll share.
Oh, yeah, you're right there. Perfect.
So my assumption was similar to as well with I guess I took it as to assuming as to why I think my business would be successful. And so some of those are that I assume that families want to save $150 a day while they're here on vacation. I also assume that the families want to save time while they're on vacation, so you have more time to spend here. And that many people aged 18 to 42, parents in particular, would prefer to utilize rideshare and not have to rent a vehicle while here and pay things like hotel, parking fees, all those sort of things. So those are, I guess, my three biggest assumptions.
No, that's fair. That's kind of where my train of thought was going too on assumptions. So it's interesting that, we have two sides here. One is the assumptions that they've made of how much time they want to spend or resources, and then the assumptions of why their business would be successful, right? The next slide is really important, but I do want to see if anybody else had the same train of thought that would like to share on why they assumed that their business would be successful. Anybody else? Come on up.
Okay. I'm just gonna take one quick point, maybe they can hear. My sentiment is that our ROI is not being. I'm looking at something.
We really can't hear him.
So he's saying that the ROI, so the return on investment isn't the end all be all.
And there's other ways to do the social impact. I'm trying to have in age 67. I'm not looking at it nested like I might have 30 years ago.
So for him, it's not really the return, a financial return, but really what he's focused on is social impact. So just making the world a better place, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the next slide. The next slide is important. And it's because, so what's interesting about this slide, and I want you guys to take some time to think about this too, and then we'll do some discussion around it. So this is kind of going to be the basis of what your pitch is going to look like. So a lot of these, when you think about this, this is, like it says, put it all together and it's your pitch. So these are really, really important to put some thought behind it, right? And to really be able to understand what your offering is or does, how it's different or special, who's it for, why they will buy, where and when. This included with, and Maggie, who is online, will teach, is teaching next week, included with your TAMSAM SOM, which most investors want to see in your pitch deck so you understand your market. This is it, right? This is going to be what you're going to pitch. So take some time, write down what you know already. If you don't know yet, it's fine. You don't have to know the answers to all of these. But just put some thought behind it. We'll share a few responses. We'll give it a few minutes. While you guys are doing that, I just want to recognize somebody who is here. She's actually from a program that StartUpNV and our co-founder Jeff is a part of, and she's probably going to kill me for this. So there's a program called Raiders Den that has happened recently, and they're high school students that have pitched and created a whole product. So this young lady back here is a part of that. So we're happy to have you here, and anybody else that's online. I think I saw a few faces. So congratulations and welcome. We are so happy to have you here. And you guys are outstanding. I saw your pitches. They were great. I just totally embarrassed her. Maybe let's start online with one volunteer. Do we have any volunteers online?
I guess I'll just kind of go down the list here, as far as like what it is and stuff. So what I'm offering is an ergonomic chair that helps to assist in pelvic floor drop, or the prevention of pelvic floor drop, which is a problem that's in 32% of women will face in their lives and 16% of men. And currently 11 million Americans, men, women, and children, are either predisposed or have already had issues with. Essentially what it is a yoga ball chair with yoga balls lining the bottom. And that's kind of what makes it different from a lot of ergonomic chairs that you see out there. It's mostly just an oversaturated market of memory foam toppers. And although that is very like ergonomically supportive, especially with the launch of the lumbar support that we saw back in like 2010, it leaves a lot lacking for, again, the pelvic floor and the lower extremities and circulation. So that's pretty much what makes it different, what makes it a game changer to the ergonomic industry. Who it's for, again, it's for anybody who is sitting in a chair for 6 to 8 hours, but just anybody who really does live that sedentary lifestyle. It's going to be at the forefront of something that they would be making the most use of. So that's pretty much who it's for. And why they would buy it is that as we get older, we definitely get very visible signs of pelvic floor drop, incontinence in women, early onset of erectile dysfunction in men. But this age, this Gen Z era, they're pretty much all infatuated with remote working and making your office at home, and they're just so health conscious, this new generation, that the market that I've done the research on is going to see a 4.2 to 4.5% increase, even with this recession going on. So, I mean, it's definitely an area that will see acceleration, and in the millions here in Nevada and the billions in America as a whole. But I definitely want to focus here in Clark County because I'm just one person right now. And I hope to implement and get my prototype into a manufacturally digestible version within the next year. And that's all of it.
So I'm sorry. When were you hoping to get that?
Within the next year, I'm hoping to take my prototype into a more digestible manufacturing like version of itself.
Okay, thank you for that. Somebody online is very, very active right now and is unmuted. If you're online, please go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so let's have somebody from in the room share. Who here has, oh, come on up.
Hello, my name is Mike Levine, and my idea is it's an online marketplace for independent jewelers to connect with engagement ring buyers. The engagement ring buyers are the purchasers. It's something special because it doesn't exist out there right now. And the independent jewelers will actually be competing for the engagement ring buyers' dollars. It's not just putting in a price, this is what I want to spend.
Yeah.
You're going to get up to 500 different jewelers saying, all right, this is what he wants, or this is what she wants. We'll give him this for this better of a price. So they're going to be competing. And
You want my
then,
boyfriend's number? No.
yes, absolutely.
Oh,
We're selling it to any person getting engaged in with same-sex marriages. You double the market. It's gonna be doing online. We're gonna be selling it online only. And we're gonna be connecting those people so they could, once they do the purchase, then the independent jeweler and the ring buyer will connect and they'll work on sizing and delivery. And it's about 9 to 12 months before the wedding. It's when they're gonna be buying. And it's really a platform because there are other things that will be included after they buy the ring.
do you process payments for
Yep.
the,
Absolutely.
interesting, okay.
We take a fee from a finder's fee and a fee for
Purchase.
from the seller.
I'll give you my boyfriend's number.
Okay.
Maggie, don't tell David. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That's interesting. And you said, when are you trying to have this up and running?
In the next 9 to 12 months.
9 to 12 months, okay.
The question was as to when the people will be buying. I thought it was 9 to 12 months before the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I answered that. Sorry.
No problem. Good examples. I think, so now that you've given it some thought, do you guys see how this is the basis of your pitch? And I know that we have some more experienced people in the room and online. For the people that have pitched in the past or have had businesses that they pitched funding for, does this make sense to you? And I'm curious, have you used this guideline previously? No? You haven't?
Actually, I would like to share mine.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
This is the first time.
He does need to get closer to the mic.
Yeah, he's coming.
My name is Mauricio Moya. Okay, what is your offering does? It's a digital platform, a roadmap to brand equity building or brand strategy. I think of it as a strategic creative assistant that helps you build your brand, organize your ideas from a design thinking perspective in an articulate manner. How it's different or special? Because it's user-friendly, it's digital, it should be user-friendly, like user-friendly driven.
Okay.
The interface, the usability and that type of thing. It condenses years of exclusive industry knowledge. When you think of advertising, design, branding, you think of it as a word that is far beyond your reach, and it makes it familiar to you. It's demystified it. So it democratizes creativity and brand building. Who it's for? It's for ideapreneurs, entrepreneurs, founders, and creative freelancers, small agencies, which could be using that. Why will they buy it? Because it saves time, it makes life easier, and exponentiate their creativity, their brain power. They could be doing much more work with that. Where they will be using that online or an app, and when? Every time a brand is being born or a company is found. That's it. Thank you.
So when are you planning to have this up and running?
Actually, I thought of it in a three-phase structure.
Okay.
Like think, strategy, build, and scale and grow. And I think that the think strategy would take like 2-3 months. The other, the build, where I would have like the MVP ready and some test of proof of testing and that thing for 9 months, and then a year for scale and growth.
So for each phase, a quarter. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yes, sir. I think Maggie, when means when are you going to have this product ready to deliver, right? The service or product?
When are they going to buy? What is going to be the trigger that makes them buy the product?
It's not a time frame.
But it's more of
It's
a,
going to be.
And their significant other tells them it's time.
There you go. You're
that's a
absolutely
good response. Where's David when you need him? But, okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I took that the wrong way.
Is that the same, like if you have a business to business phone?
Is that the same, Maggie, if you have a B2B client?
Oh, yeah. So you're probably going to have a longer cycle with a business to business sale. But when they buy, they're a great customer because they're going to buy larger amounts. And they'll probably stay a customer for longer than a fickle consumer would. Especially if it's software. It's a nightmare. Well, you know, Rakshana, it's a nightmare to change software. And when you do, you're doing it because you desperately hate what you have currently and you don't want to change again anytime soon.
Yeah. I know that. I've been through that experience.
Yeah, online we have Norberto, and he has a very interesting take on this. He says that being an entrepreneur takes optimism. And I agree. You have to actually believe in your idea till the cows come home, but it also has a tendency to make entrepreneurs too unrealistic in their expectations and assumptions. They're the happy path people. So you really need somebody to bring you down to reality. And he provides a recycling service specifically designed for drywall manufacturers to dispose of their waste in an environmentally sustainable manner. And I'm saying to Norberto, it's not just them. If you go to construction sites and you collect it, you can charge to take it away, and then you can charge to I think it was concrete manufacturers. And who else? Yeah, there were a couple of different customers that he had that would take this in as a raw material and reuse it.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Now I'm like, that's a good business. That's a really good idea. Okay. So ideate the elevator pitch, channels of delivery, your mouth, in an actual elevator or on stage via Twitter, Threads, 280 character limit. So I'm going to actually give you 2 pieces of homework for next week. I don't know how many of you guys have Grammarly or Word, but you can actually count your character limit. If you guys want to go home and create an elevator pitch, and then we're going to do some pitches next week. Maybe take the first 5 to 10 minutes of trying that out. I think it would be fun. Oh, please, I gotta get out of the way. And then your second piece of your homework is this it?
I don't think so. I think it's on slide 28. There we go. That's not the class. There you are.
A nice picture of Mark Zuckerberg and a quote: "The biggest risk is not taking any risk in a world that's changing really quickly. The only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks." Mark Zuckerberg.
Hang on, he's a new judo champion.
He's the what?
He's one of the judo.
Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting for those 2 to fight.
No, he's really
Advanced.
trained.
Well, we'll talk about this later because he's supposed to, they're trying to get both of them, yeah, in a ring together. I have money on good old Mark here. And your second piece of homework today, this is outside of class. What is your business concept? Describe your business in a paragraph. Make sure to answer the following questions. Let me get out of the way so people can take a picture. What is the customer problem that you are solving? How does your product or service solve this problem for your customer? How is it different from other products or services? What is your competitive advantage? Who will buy it? Why will they buy it from you? Once you have answered these questions, well, get some feedback. The test for a well-defined statement is to explain it to people, especially some of your potential customers. Have them relate it back to you as they understand it, and after receiving their feedback, make any adjustments to better clarify your statement. I forgot one of our speakers said it. Pitch it to somebody elderly and see if they understand it. And if they don't understand it, then try to, get it to a point where they do, and it makes sense. I tried to explain stuff to my grandparents once, it didn't work out well. And then I had to teach my mom an iPhone, that was interesting. So, and it'll give you, and try different people, right? Try your best friend, try your Uber driver. But and then get some feedback. So those are your 2 pieces of homework. We're gonna start next week with Maggie, who's gonna be speaking. And then we'll go into trying out some elevator pitches, and then discussing this. Sound good? Everybody online, sound good?
Yeah, Ken posted the slide in the chat for them. Yeah, we will do some quick elevator pitches. We're going to be talking about pitching throughout the course, and we're going to finish the course with a demo day where you will stand up and pitch. And it's a judgment-free zone. It's a very supportive zone, so that you get some practice doing this in front of other people. Because practicing in front of the mirror is great, and you should do that, but doing it in front of other people, the more you do it, the better you get.
Sound good?
Will there be feedback and will there actually be investors there?
So you will have last year, Maggie, and I think it's the same setup. So Maggie will be there. I believe Jeff, who is one of the co-founders, also a successful exited investor or entrepreneur. You'll have a few different people there, not only from our StartUpNV team, but who have also been a part of their own entrepreneur journey and have had success through it, give you guys some feedback. And of course, are we doing the whole food thing as well?
The food thing? Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of food.
And then there'll be food. But also just to, Lawrence is bringing cheesecake for everyone. Where's Lawrence? He's shaking
He's got his thumb up.
So I think what you guys do or should understand, this is just the beginning of one of our programs. Our Angel NV program is where you actually go up and pitch for funding. If you go online to StartUpNV and you look for Angel NV, you'll see actually our Angel NV, what was it, 3, I think? So you'll see 4. Pictures of, coming up is 4, right?
Yes.
We just had 3?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the winners, or not the winners, you'll see the fundees of our last Angel NV, and they received a significant amount of funding. So this is all to help whatever your journey is. If it's here just to try to learn and, make sure that you're filling in the gaps, or if you're here to follow through each of the programs, or, and I think you're open to pitch pretty much anytime at pitch day 2. We have pitch days. But if you end up, saying, okay, I'm ready, I want to be a part of Angel NV4, you'll go through, the pitches and you'll be pitching to your potential investors. So again, like this is just the beginning. And of course, if you go online, it'll share more information about all of our programs. Okay, I think we are done for the evening. Thank you guys for joining.